Good morning. It's Thursday, July 14th. Thanks for joining us here at Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Tony Rail Sutherland, and Parrish Murphy is with me. How are you doing, Parrish? You
bringing down the property value, Dr. Tony. Just bringing down the property value. How you doing?
Are you staying cool in the summer here?
I am doing my best to stay cool and avoiding heat as much as I possibly can.
Very good. Very good. Well, tell everybody how they can find us.
Well, we're live on Houston Community College District Facebook page, and we're also on YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we're on HCCTV noon, 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay. Now, today we're congratulating someone from the Business Center of Excellence who has a story about perseverance, which I know is going to be very, very good. It's Dr. Juan Crawford. He's the new chair of HCC's Business Center of Excellence. And we will come back to him in about 10 minutes. And Parrish will talk to him and we'll get to hear what that story is all about. But first, this is, of course, Thursday Family Fun Day, and we will feature part 2 of the travels of another department chair who did an artist-in-residency in a historic and fascinating place. Greece, of all places. Oh, my God. I do envy her tremendously. This is Katherine Rhodes Fields. She's Division Chair of Visual Arts of the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts COE. Welcome to the show, Katherine.
Thank you, Tony. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Let me see. This is part 2 because you've been on before. Showing us a lot of stuff about Greece, but we're going to talk now about your residency, and it's in Skopelos, Greece, right?
It was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you saw some wonderful things. Tell us something about the experience that you had there.
It was incredible, very hard to describe, but primarily what was beneficial of being there was my creativity was sparked again. I was inspired to make more art, but as well as I met amazing people. I met craftsmen, other artists there in Greece, and created strong relationships with those people as well as the foundation. At the end of my residency, the founder of the foundation, as well as the director, asked me to be on their advisory board. So I was able to develop a very strong relationship with them there, which is exciting. So now I'm going to help them develop the program. Excellent. Very exciting.
And so now, tell us a little bit more. What is this? Now, is it called Scope Art, I guess?
Right. Scope Art is a foundation that was founded in the early 90s. And it was a foundation for artists where they could go and visit Greece and live on the island of Skopelos and make their art right there in front of the Aegean Sea, but also be influenced by the essentially the heart, right, of Western civilization.
Yes.
And so that was the point of it. It started out as a printmaking residency, and then it grew into ceramics and other media, such as painting and drawing. But it started out as printmaking.
Excellent. Well, now, okay, the palace at Knossos, I believe it's how it's pronounced, to art history means a whole lot. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah. So after my residency was completed, I went and traveled along back to Athens and then along to Crete to continue my research. And so I went to the palace at Knossos in one of my travels there on the island of Crete in order to explore more of the Minoan civilization as well as the influence of the Mycenaean civilization, because the Mycenaeans came in after the Minoans. And of course, Mycenae, right, that is from mainland Greece as well. But anyway, so the Palace of Knossos is very important because it establishes the particular timeline of what was happening in the art world in the Mediterranean right there. So the Minoans actually were the very first civilization to create from what I learned in my research. Plumbing, they had plumbing there at the palace. They also had kilns, and they had ceramic laboratories there where they started out and made pottery, which is something, of course, in the art world is very important. But what's interesting to this particular palace, this palace was reconstructed by Dr. Evans. And so most of what you see there, the ground, right, and some of the storage places are all original to the palace. But since it is an island, and it's a very active volcanic island, there are earthquakes there. Well, not active volcanic, but there are earthquakes there. And so they've had to reconstruct all of the different palaces there. So most of the palaces were actually built out of wood, because they found that the construction materials would collapse. So what you see there are the presence of what was there, but then you see what Dr. Evans did. He rebuilt it. So it's just a wonderful exploration of how archaeology and art history come together to reimagine a very ancient place, which was very exciting. And then from there, in the palace, I was able to walk around and see the spaces and see the plumbing and all of those wonderful things there at the palace. There were also peacocks there. Apparently, historically, peacocks would have been at the palace. So you could hear peacocks squawking in the distance as you walked around the cypress trees and the old walkways. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I'm sure there are a lot, but what works of art on Crete did you see that's part of what we call the antiquities canon?
Yes, well, absolutely. So I saw, it was very exciting to walk into a museum and see things that I studied when I was an undergraduate, and teach as a professor. So I did see one of the most important pieces in the canon, and that is the Leaping Bull fresco. And that was very, very exciting for me. So at the palace, at the archaeological site, they had a replica there in the room, so you can get an idea of what it looked like at the time. But then at the museum there in Heraklion, they had the actual fresco that was rebuilt slightly, which was incredible. But also to the goddess sculpture, which was also found at the Palace of Knossos, that talks about the way that the religion they believe of the Minoan civilization, and how it was tied to Mother Earth. I also saw a lot of wonderful rhytons, which are vessels that were beautifully created, but also the lioness head, which was really important in terms for us in art history to see that there were connections. There were no lions on Crete. So how did they know about lionesses and lions, right? So it talks about their connection to Africa, because Crete is very close to Northern Africa. It's just a ship's sailing away to Northern Africa. So all of these things that were found at the Palace of Knossos gave archaeology and art history a better idea of the connections that existed in the Mediterranean during that time. So it was very exciting. Then also to the right of the bullhead, you can see the exquisite abilities of the artisans at the time. Gives a better idealization. So it was very exciting to see that. But what impressed me the most was the vessel paintings, and I included some of that. So the actual mark making that's on the ceramic work there, the Minoan ceramic work, has really come full circle into my own art making and my prints. So I'm very using that kind of geometric, abstracted mark making that looks a little bit very organic, more like sea life. Lots of shapes, geometric. So that has inspired me in my mark making and my prints that I'm making as a result of my studies.
Oh, good. So that's wonderful. So you picked up, not only got to see all these things firsthand, but you got something that would help influence your work today.
Absolutely. Yes.
So now tell me, what is the significance of Delphi to your research?
Well, Delphi is very important because it was the heart of the religious center of Greece, right? So that's where the Temple of Apollo was, and that's where the oracle sat that predicted things like, will I get married, up to will we win a war, right? So kings and common people all went to Delphi to find out. It was the magic 8-ball, so to speak, of the ancient world. So it was very important for me to go there to kind of see and be a part of and experience that landscape, but also kind of walk that journey. So not walk it, but go through that journey. So I did travel from Athens after Crete. I traveled back to Athens. And then I traveled from Athens up to Delphi, up to Mount Parnassus, to the archaeological site. And I did walk around the archaeological site and saw that, took lots of lovely pictures. And then went to the museum and saw all of the beautiful artifacts that they discovered. Now, an earthquake did hit Delphi, and a lot of the objects that are in the museum were recovered there in really great shape because they were buried and they weren't exposed to pilferers. So people would actually, so the image of the charioteer that I've shared with y'all today, that is a full-on wonderful representation of how we understand Greek statuary now. So there's also some images of the twins there. So this shows the development of the human form. So you have the chore and the chorai, which are represented there, but then you had moved on to the charioteer. So it kind of shows how artisans were really looking at the human form and making it into actuality, which is quite incredible thinking about the technology that we have now and the technology we had then. So the bronze sculpture of the charioteer was actually in the very last gallery of the museum, and it shows kind of the ultimate, the penultimate abilities of artisans to do the lost wax cast process of the charioteer statue in bronze in its fully. And I hope that you guys are able to see, but I included an image. The artisan actually even made eyelashes on him. So that was the absolute detail that you can see there. And it was one of the moments.
I saw a close-up of that. That was really neat.
Impressive, right? So it was one of those wonderful moments where all of that tied together. To see that, right, brings about my notions and thinking about, art making, and it will make me definitely a better professor when I teach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we are so glad to have you back from Greece. I'm glad you're back and applying all this research to what you're doing right now. That is just wonderful. Thank you, Katherine, so much.
Absolutely, Tony. Good to see you.
To see more of your pictures and everything.
Yeah, well,
it's limited.
Well, at the end of my residency, when the end of my sabbatical, rather, I will have an exhibition at one of our galleries at HCC. So hopefully everyone will get to see all the work that I created, inspired by that. So I hope to see y'all all there. Probably be next academic year. Yeah. So
that will be wonderful. Excellent. Thank you, Katherine. Katherine Fields, Division Chair of HCC's Visual Arts Department. And we'll have information about all this in our post after the show. Okay.
Great.
Thanks,
you. Guys. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Parrish.
Yes, ma'am.
It's your turn. You want to tell us who you have and what you're doing?
Absolutely. We have the pleasure of having Dr. Juan Crawford, who is a former real estate program coordinator and the new chair of HCC's Business Center of Excellence. Dr. Juan, welcome to the big show. How you doing today?
Hello, I am having a fantastic day. Fantastic day. Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Great. Well, first off, congratulations on the big news. And that's effective in August. Am I correct?
August the 15th.
Okay. Oh, you got
August
a date
15th.
Too. August the 15th. Okay.
I'm actually learning the job now. I'm with Ken Hernandez, who is the current chair. Mm-hmm. And so I am breaking some time so that I can learn the job prior to taking the job.
Awesome. Now, we want to talk about real estate in just a second, but first, what are some of the other programs that you'll oversee in your new position?
So that in this position, we have real estate, of course, banking and finance, marketing, paralegal, translation, and interpretation. We have five branches that are inside of the business division within the business COE.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, great. Now, that covers quite a bit, actually.
Yes.
Now, from a real estate standpoint, how is the Houston real estate market? Is it a buyer's market, or is it a seller's market, or is it just absolutely crazy?
Because right now of inflation that's taken place, we are now moving from a seller's market to an even keel. Mm-hmm. So that it used to be where people were, in the last 6 months, people were bidding $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 over the asking price because they're trying to get the house. Mm-hmm. And now we are seeing that come down.
Now, is this the influx of East Coast and West Coast people coming here to just kind of get a cheaper, more affordable style of life, and that's just screwing up the market?
Houston is the fourth largest city in North America. Mm-hmm. And so then we have a lot that's going on in this area, but that you have inflation, that it was just doing some big things over here that are making it happen.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about income generating properties.
Okay. That if you looked at from a Houston standpoint, and you looked at the foreclosures, there used to be about 4,800 foreclosures would hit the market every 30 days, every 30 days, every 30 days. Hey, only 300 hitting the market. Like, wait, what do you mean? Only 300 hitting the market? What happened to the other 4,500 houses not hitting the market? What do you mean they're not hitting the market? They're being sold to investors looking for income generating properties. Houston's market is moving 10,000 units for rental, 10,000 rental units every 90 days. That doesn't mean, you're 10,000 people are renting their houses out. No. How are they getting 10,000 units? Those 10,000 units are coming because investors are saying, let me go ahead and get an income generating property, something that's going to continue to generate income.
Wow. So how is regentrification affecting the housing market now that people are moving back from the suburbs into the inner city?
It is affecting them from the standpoint of, and I'll give you an example. If you take a look at the 77004, is an area that we are focused on from a business standpoint. And you have houses there, they're buying the lots. Okay? They get a lot over there for, say, $100,000, $150,000. They can replot the lot, cut it in half, and build two of the 3 stories. I don't know if you've seen, they're called tall and skinnies, where you got the garage downstairs and a bedroom downstairs. Then you walk up to the second floor where you have the kitchen, the family room, a half bath. Then you walk up to the third floor where I have the master, the bedroom and all of the bedrooms up there. So they're actually able to put down 2 of those on a lot that had a house. And they're putting those down, that they're taking the price of the tax base up. That's something that they're really looking into right now.
Wow. And not only are they, that's more of an East Coast concept though, isn't it? Because I grew up in this town and we didn't go over 2 stories here. And now you're starting to see these 3-level homes and things of that nature, just kind of popping up all over the place.
Absolutely. Okay. Because in that particular property, if we have 750 square feet of floor, and you're talking about 2,250 square feet, that's something that they are, people are excited about that. But you would have to go up to another story to accommodate that square footage. Because even at that, if you only dropped it to 2 stories, now you're only talking about a 1,500 square foot house, and the 1,500 square foot house is not enough room for average family, or definitely the families that are buying right now in the year 2022. They're looking for more than 1,500 square feet.
So right now, do you think that that's with the influx of these things happening? Do you think that's pricing people that were born here and grew up here? Do you think that's pricing them out of being able to get homes?
Yes.
What can be done about that? I think that's a problem. What can be done?
I don't know that anything can be done about that. Just from a standpoint of that if you went to, I've been in the Houston market since 2005, and the people, I want to flip a house. Well, I want to buy something for 40, put 30 in it and sell it for $115,000. That's not happening anymore. Well, that's not happening anymore because there are no more $40,000 properties, $50,000 properties, $60,000. The lowest property, if you went on HAR to say I want a property, the lowest cost home in Cypress might be or 150. The lowest in Katy might be 145. The lowest in Spring might be 135. The $40,000 houses out there, they're gone. They're not out there anymore.
Wow. Okay, and really quick, do you think that this market's going to crash or it's just going to level out?
I think it's going to level out. I cannot see this market crashing. And again, I've been in the Houston market since 2005. I can't see the market crashing. The market might level out right now. Where we looked at the average price on a house in Houston has risen 11%, where the average price is $435,000. The median price has risen 12%. I think the median price is $370,000. And so then that's what's going on in the Houston market. On the flip side of it, rentals of a single family, rentals are up 22% from last year. You have people that are coming like Divvy Homes that are buying 30,000 houses across our nation because they're running into people that say, well, I want to buy, but I can't afford this right now. And so they're buying houses and then renting them back for a 3-year period of time, where the individual then at the end of 3 years can then turn around and buy that house back. We see a lot of that happening here in this market.
Man, now before we go, I definitely want to talk in your new position. What kind of possibilities are available for the HCC students?
Okay, so not to be redundant.
That's fine.
The three things you can do. You can come into HCC, the real estate program, and take the 6 classes needed to get your real estate license.
Okay.
Or the 6 to get your real estate license plus co-op, actually get a real estate certificate. Or 6 to get your license plus 14 others to actually get an associate's degree, an AAS in real estate. And when you look from a real estate standpoint, 90% of the people that get their real estate license today won't be practicing real estate a year from now. What do you mean 90% wash out? Yeah, because they are trying to trade time for dollars. I work, I get paid. I stop working, I stop getting paid. That's not in this business right here. You have to trade knowledge for dollars. It means you can go out and learn more things and generate more income. And so that's what attracts people to our AAS. We have something that champions in an online, we champions real estate, because that's a really huge one here. We put students in a co-op, actually put students for a semester for 16 weeks, 20 hours a week into a brokerage they're not getting paid for, but they're learning real estate. Champions is not doing that, so that our students are better educated. We have a relationship with about 60 different brokerages across the city where we're able to put our students in for that co-op. We're doing about 60 co-op students per semester. And, maybe 55, maybe 54, but close to 60. And we're breaking it up between, are they getting the capstone for the certificate program, is RELE 1381, or the capstone for the associate's degree, which is RELE 2381. So regardless of which one of those are taking place, we are able to put students in that all the time.
That is awesome. We have got to have you back on the show, Dr. Crawford. Thank you again for being on the show. His name is Dr. Juan Crawford. He is the new chair of HCC's Business Center of Excellence. We'll have all of your information in our post after the show. We got to have you back. Thanks again, Dr. Crawford. Great talking to you.
All right. You have a blessed day.
You as well. Dr. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. We got some news and announcements to get out, so let's start. Mental Health 101 lunch today. It is today, but it's not too late to sign up for the NAMI Mental Health Luncheon. It's for students, staff, and faculty. And remember that Nicole Kwan, an HCC student, will be a presenter. It's from noon to 1:30 today, and it's virtual. And we'll have information in our post after the show. What else we got?
Also, we have work studies job fair next week. Financial aids on campus job fair. It's going to happen in the next coming week. Path to Profession, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday, July the 18th at HCC Central. Also, traditional work study, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, July 19th through the 21st at HCC Central and West Loop and WHI. We'll have all of this information on our post we'll have a link, on our post after the show.
Okay, and then there's the HCC Art Car on a roll. Terra Firma, HCC's award-winning art car, which involved collaboration of HCC students, both in the art and the automotive departments. That is going to be on the move soon, noon, Tuesday, July 26th. So if they're going to move it from the automotive department to the Spring Branch department, so it can be on display. So if you want to get another glimpse of it, it'll be on the road on July 26th. Remember, it got awards: the Judge's Choice, People's Choice, Artist's Choice, and all kinds of things. So check that out.
Fall 2022 registration is going on now. Of course, options are still available, are the online anytime, online on a schedule, the hybrid in person, as well as the hybrid lab. For registration on all HCC programs, go to hccs.edu/apply. That is hccs.edu/apply.
And up next, Randy Ramsey of the Southwest Alternate Media Project, or SWAMP, as we better know it, returns as a guest host, but this time she'll bring her partner in crime, as they say, Julie Newland, who is an HCC filmmaking professor, and they'll talk about SWAMP's annual youth summer camp to inspire future filmmakers. And one of those young filmmakers is going to be my granddaughter. She's in it. And I can't wait to see what she and the others come up with. I'm sure it's going to be very creative.
Also, for a full Film Friday, Alfred Cervantes of the Houston Film Commission will join them, since Cervantes is also a SWAMP member. He also serves on the board of the SWAMP member, and Alfred's been there forever. God, he was in there when I was in college.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you all for being with us. Thank you, Parrish. Love it when you're on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Audience.
Always a pleasure.
We'll keep you all up to date with the latest community and college news. So keep watching, and we'll see you next time on Up to the Minute.